Hello guys, and welcome back to episode 18 now of our Factorio Spaceage series. I'm hoping we'll be one step closer to actually testing out the space age portion of the series, because we are 3%, actually 2% now, away from finishing the rocket silo research, which means hopefully we're one step closer to getting off of this planet and exploring the actual space age planets, which are the whole reason why we're doing this series to begin with. But we of course still have plenty of things to do before that happens. First thing we need to do is really increase production of materials. We just have iron ore and iron plate just barely trickling in. I haven't yet made use of the iron ore that we're getting trained in. So now that we have bots, we can easily upgrade our smelting capabilities with some new smelting blueprints placed probably top and bottom from here. The other things we can do is consider upgrading the furnaces to the steel or even electric furnaces. But I think to do that, we should probably start by automating the steel and electric furnaces first. The steel furnaces I think will be easy to automate because we can just do that based off of the line here. But the electric furnaces take red circuits, which we don't have in this little mall area. So for now, let's just start with automation of the steel furnaces, so that way it gives me the option to use those if I want. And then we'll see if we can use bots to maybe come up with a bot-based assembling build, if that makes sense. And it looks like rocket silo research is done. Let's see what that's unlocked here. Whoops. Oh, so a whole new space tab. Rocket silo, that's standard. Cargo landing pad is new. Space platform foundation, also new to me. And space platform starter pack. Also new to me, these three things here. I'm not sure how they're made. I'm assuming in assemblers, but we'll have to play around with it. But it looks like either way, a lot of these products end up requiring processing units, which is something we definitely need to make. And processing units in particular take tons of green circuits, which my little build, the original green circuit build up here, is certainly not going to supply a whole brand new blue circuit factory. So we'll need to upgrade that or have green circuits as part of the blue circuit build, which is a blueprint I do have in mind. But back to the steel furnace setup. Let's just continue this down. We'll need to move the roboport here. We'll need to extend the stone brick belt line up here all the way down. And long hand inserter that. And I do need to make some storage chests in my pocket. That's another thing that happened actually in between episodes, is I spent a lot of time going around and upgrading all of the wooden boxes that I had into these basically bot provided and pulled from storage chests. And so these are all connected to the logistic network. And the nice thing about using the storage chests is if you put in a filter, it should theoretically mean that the bots are taking the trash and putting like items with like items. So it's kind of a dual purpose thing, is that bots can also use those boxes to provide me with things I'm requesting, which now is a whole bunch. My inventory is so much cleaner, which I really appreciate. But back to filling in the recipe here for the steel furnaces. There we go. And we will connect this to the logistic network as well. There we go. And let's give ourselves maybe 50 at a time. And let's see if we can come up with a little bot-based assembly build for the electric furnaces, and that way I can play with either option for my next smelting. You'll also notice a lot of research is getting done now quickly. That's because I'm doing a ton of more quality of life type research at this point, because I don't have modular armor yet. That's something I also want to prioritize, but once I get it, I want to be putting in things like the energy shield equipment, a personal roboport, the exoskeleton, things like that that will improve my ability to get around in the game and more safely and fight off the biters and future enemies I imagine we'll run into eventually on other planets. So we have room here. I think we can access the steel from here, the red circuits from here, and what else do the electric furnaces take? Stone brick. Okay, so stone brick we could just belt up that way. That's not a big deal. So let's do that first. Whoop. We can do like that. Although I want it to go there. So let's actually bring it down by 1. Underground belt, that. And now we have a free line all the way from the stone brick area. Let's put in the recipe and give that an inserter, give that inserter. We need a long-handed inserter over here. And then we will just have this output into a storage box as well. Let's also connect this one up to the logistic network. Let's have maybe, we'll also do 50 at a time just so I'm not like wasting all of my resources at one time. There we go. Oops. And we'll put in the filter here. I may have forgotten to put in the filter down here for the steel furnace one, did I? Yes, but I can fix that now. That's convenient. There we go. So we now have those things getting made. And now I have the option to upgrade these smelters. So we can, certainly upgrade the stone furnaces into the either steel or electric furnaces at some point. But I think for now, since those are far more expensive than just the stone smelters, I might just stick with this and then upgrade eventually once we have more available to me and once we're less poor. So we'll just copy this blueprint and just put basically maybe 1 or 2 down here in this open area. But let me get rid of this first because we'll have to move the coal line. So we can put that there. We can put just barely 1 more in. That couldn't have fit more snugly. And that's just luck. So I do have, I think, stone furnaces, yep, in a box. I do. So that's good. We may have to upgrade the wooden power poles to the medium power poles. I think we may not have enough wooden power pole production anymore since I got rid of that factory. But that's okay. If we run out of poles, we'll just upgrade those later. In the meantime, what are we missing? Yep, we are missing those power poles indeed. So what we'll do instead is upgrade that with the upgrade planner. And is there a way to just upgrade certain things? Oh, nope. That's not what I want to do. There's got to be a way. And in fact, I'm sure there's a way, but I don't know what that way is at the moment. So I'm going to just place it down manually. Like so. All right, looks like everything here now has power. It doesn't yet have the coal. So let's start to fix that. So coal actually can just now extend through this build actually, which is convenient. It should go down, let's see. Here we go. Now that will work. This is off by a tile, which would normally really bother me, and trust me, it does bother me, but that's okay. There are other things that we could care more about than that. Looks like the last of the armor, like tech research stuff is done. Oh, space platform. Now can we, oh, apparently that's something that's researched by creating a space platform. And I guess by sending space platform starter packs to space. So I assume we put that in the rocket silo. I'm not actually sure. We'll figure that out later. But let's start to bring in the new lines of iron ore. And we can also now place more smelting up here. Let me now just actually copy these blueprints that have the correct power poles. Like that, and then we'll add more up here. And there we go. Although it looks like I accidentally copied this splitter here, and that's not something I wanted to do. We will need to fix that and suck up some of this excess coal. And I think we can fix it by just moving this light. Yes, that's what we'll do. So it's just stone that needs to continue on. There we go. Problem solved. I now feel much more rich with all of the smelting capabilities I have in store. But let's start to bring down the iron ore. And I think I still want to leave room over here for additional steam engines or different power setups. So I need to be mindful about like not putting a whole ton of belt through that area. So this can just continue south, and then we'll go basically, actually, let's cut over a little bit more left here, just so I could leave enough room for more labs if I want it. And I will try to leave enough room for other belts to go here as well, but I do need to keep in mind I'm now limited by this steam engine build, so I might actually need to move that in the future. But for now, I will just plan on putting this here. So this will be an iron line, so I'm just thinking I probably want to leave these upper two for copper, just so I'm not like fully mixing and matching, and I'm kind of keeping them semi-organized. So we can do iron, that might be overkill. But let's do that for now. I guess let's do 4 worth of iron, which means this needs to come in like that. And probably just drop down here. Okay, so we'll continue this down. And I'm already out of belt. Oh, but I'm not in the logistic network, so let's get within range. So let me put down a couple more roboports, actually. We can put that right there. And that will help me be in better coverage, although there's not full coverage around the base quite yet. We can put another one maybe right there. Nope. We'll do right there so it's connected. Oh no, and then this is off by a tile. That definitely has to be redone. Gonna delete that. Thankfully, that's what the bots are for now, so it is not a huge deal to have to redo it. Phew, glad we caught that before there was any ore in place. And it's beautiful seeing the bots do their work. How many bots do I have now? So I have 184 logistic bots and 496, almost 500 construction bots already. That's not too bad. So I'm still waiting on belt, but we can start to ghost this in. So this will connect up to that one there. We'll use underground belts for that. And then we'll plan on another line coming up, although now we can have steel have its own line. In fact, maybe that's what we'll do next. We'll have another line here for steel. Like that. And we'll just connect it up with one of the train output lines. And then we have room for one more belt to come in. And we are definitely not getting a fully compressed belt with this current unloading setup. So our options, I think, are to do some different belt balancing. I don't have any blueprints in mind for that, but what I'll do is just combine these. So I bet we'll get maybe one full belt out of this whole thing, and then we'll do the same thing up here to combine these guys. That's looking better already. We'll just continue this down basically. And there we go. That will be the basic unloading setup, I guess. And then we can fit in another train just off of here somewhere. We could also probably expand labs as well. But what do we want to research next? Ooh, personal battery MK2, but that requires yellow science. Military 3 would be nice though. And uranium mining, that would also be nice, but let's do laser next, because that will come in handy for getting, I think, the personal laser defense down the line. And maybe follower robot count we can do, landmines, all sorts of stuff we can do. And instead of automating labs, I think I will continue to craft those by hand for now. But we can place a couple more down. And then we'll just copy the inserter setup that we have here, like that. Let's give them power. And then I will just continue to build the labs in my pocket, and then as they're trashed, the boss will be able to place them down. And now it's time to connect in the new iron ore line. We'll just underground probably there. Whoops, one more. And there we go. So now that will branch off into this smelter. And then, where's our other line? Our other line is already going into steel. So then we can bring a third line like this, which we'll just have the bots do. And bring this down. And that can go into this one that we already prepped up over here. Like that. Now we just need to figure out where we connect in the output. I am almost tempted to just have this iron plate line go straight into a blue circuit build, but I don't know if that's overkill or if we should try to divvy it up with some iron up there. But for now, I think we should actually go ahead and call this episode, so that way next time we can start fresh with a brand new blue circuit build. Thanks you guys for joining me for episode 18, and I hope you'll stick around for the next one.